Yeah,
Okay.
I don't face.
Good evening, and thank you, everyone, for attending the Goffstown Board of Selectmen's meeting, October 17, 2011. We will all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. First item on the agenda is the acceptance or the correction of the 10/3/11 non-public minutes.
Motion to accept.
Second.
Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Abstaining? It's unanimous. Next is announcements. Sue, do we have any announcements?
Yes.
We have the one about Dunbarton Road. Do we have any others beside that?
Right there in front of you. That's in the packet, I believe.
That's, I have that one for the fire department.
Yes.
Okay, well, you want to do that one then?
Sure.
Okay. All right, we have a traffic alert. It's East Dunbarton Road work that's being done. The Goffstown Department of Public Works announces road reclamation and drainage work on East Dunbarton Road between Lindsay Way and the Manchester line from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., Monday through Friday, effective immediately. East Dunbarton Road will be closed to all southbound through traffic and detoured up Lindsay Way to Terrell Hill Road on Center Street. East Dunbarton Road will be open to all residential traffic during the day and through traffic each night. Please seek an alternative route, as delays may be encountered in the work zone, as only one lane for the northbound traffic will be allowed through during the day. This notice and project updates are available on the Goffstown website, which is www.goffstown.com. Please contact Megan Theriot at 497-3617 with any questions. Thank you for your patience during the construction season. Thank you. And we have one other one. Nick?
Yes. The fire department discovered that Station 17, which is the Terrell Hill Road Station, half of the roof had failed. The shingles were curling, shingles were missing, and in need of immediate repair. So this past weekend, in order to save both time and, more importantly, resources, money for the town, the members of that station met, and they worked throughout the day on Saturday to strip that roof, that half. They replaced ice and water shield, they reshingled, and still were done in time to bring apparatus to the parade Saturday afternoon. So we'd like to acknowledge and thank Lieutenant Josh Charpentier, Lieutenant Mark LeMay, firefighter John Lateris, firefighter Brian Foster, firefighter Chris McMurray, firefighter Brian Nowell, firefighter Greg Nickerson, and firefighter Jason LeMay for their hard work and dedication in accomplishing that task.
Okay, great job. Appreciate it very much. Thank you. Any other? 250th?
Well, a little bit, yeah.
Okay.
Just want to thank Goffstown Main Street Program for yet another wonderful pumpkin regatta weekend. I want to thank our fellow selectman Dave Pierce, Captain America. I'm hoping that you might wear that costume again to one of our meetings, maybe as a bet or something. But thank you for
Halloween.
Yeah, for doing that, and I think and also just want to thank Elizabeth DeBrule and all the other folks. Elizabeth really organized the majority of the 250th parade, so I want to thank her and everyone who marched in it. We were a little nervous about the rain, but we weathered the storm. So all in all, it was a good time and great community spirit in town over the weekend. So
Great. I want to thank both you and Elizabeth. Okay. Dave, do you have any? Steve? Okay.
That's in your packet.
Well, I thought you'd read it,
Oh, you want me to read
if
it?
you don't mind.
No problem.
I have enough trouble reading the one from Public Works.
In the October edition of Parenting New Hampshire magazine, the results are in for the best local role model for kids, and they were Adam Sandler, Krista McCullough, Jenny Thompson, and Mom. These 4 people were most often mentioned, but the magazine was impressed with the varied responses to this question. The readers also suggested skier Bodie Miller, children's entertainer Judy Pankos, and Pierre Pouliot, a police officer from Goffstown.
Great. Great job. Thank you. Anything else? If not, we'll be moving on to public comment. At this time, we take comment from members of the public, and we'll need your name for the record.
Certainly. Collis Adams, 16 Wallace Road. And compliments to all those involved with the Pumpkin Fest. I think it was great. I was at the Pumpkin Regatta. I don't know how big the crowd was, but it's the biggest gathering of people I've ever seen in this town. It was huge. So it was a tremendous success. It was a lot of fun. But that's not why I'm here. For a couple reasons, I'm here representing myself as well as some other citizens who had called me. Yesterday, a couple of folks who approached me at the Pumpkin Regatta, and one individual stopped by my home. I'm also here representing Goffstown Junior Baseball, and I'll tie those together in a minute. The folks who had called me about a site inspection that was done Saturday relative to a sports complex. And they didn't know what was going on. They asked me for information. I didn't know exactly. I presumed there was a collection of folks from town who went down to look at the former Perry property and the former Barnard property. I assumed that's what happened. They asked who was on the site inspection. I said I didn't know. They asked what occurred during the site inspection, what was the results, what's going to be the follow-up action. I said I don't have answers to any of those questions, but I would bring the questions here to the board tonight and pose the questions to the board in hopes of bring back some answers so that when I get further, and I expect I will get further folks asking me the same questions, I can provide some sort of response to them. I think we need to do that. I'm a little concerned that a project of this magnitude seems to be moving forward without a whole lot of public input. I know at your August 1st meeting you discussed at length how this ought to be rolled out. There are differing opinions on that, whether or not there should be a charrette or some other form of planning tool used to solicit input from the public at large versus a smaller effort. Personally, I certainly would support the larger effort. I think there's people in this community who have the time, the energies, and certainly the expertise to bring to a project of this significance and this importance to the town of Goffstown. I think that it ought to be transparent. The process ought to be transparent, and I think those who choose and would like to serve and provide, as I say, some input in their talents towards that project ought to be afforded the opportunity to do so. Myself being one, I know Kurt Lauer, who was involved prior to this, would be interested as well. So I wanted to bring that message, and I would hope that this board would, again, make this more of a transparent process, engage the public, engage them early on, ask for their comments and their support. I know when we built the waterfront at Glen Lake, we had a charrette, and there was a lot of valuable information that came out of that. We found a lot of people who were willing to volunteer their time, and I think that same sort of effort would go a long ways towards making this the best project it can be. I think we need to put the needs of the community ahead of the wants of any individual or any group, and I think the only way to do that is to fully engage them. So I've posed some questions. I would hope you'd provide me with some answers so that I can bring this back.
I can.
Sure. Thanks.
Parks and Rec had a walk of the property. Many of the commissioners themselves never walked it. So Rick Wilhelmi, the director, invited all the commissioners to walk the property, as well as some folks that the commission talked to who that represented many of the different sports groups. We also, through Sue Tucker, reached out to Conservation to try to, let them see what the property is. Other than that, that was really about it. There's been so much discussion about looking at a 2D map. None of them really ever walked it. So and they delayed it. So they finally, I don't know how many people actually went. I think it was like 6 to 8 people went on the walk. I'm not sure what the outcome is. I'll learn more Wednesday. And you're free to come as well as Kurt or anyone else.
Is that the Parks and Recs? Is that the Parks and Rec meeting?
Parks and Rec meeting is this Wednesday, 6:30. And feel free to do that, to come. And anyone is willing, you can come to any of the Parks and Rec meetings. It's not, there's no secret as to what we're trying to accomplish. We're trying to get all the key stakeholders, not just athletic groups, but just citizens at large who have an interest in seeing what that site will be. But one of the things that I know Parks and Rec tried to do was to reach out to these different groups, calls to see if there's a potential for a private-public partnership where they would invest money into doing it so that they could see what this property looks like. Other than that, they are working to try to get a gentleman to have a meeting, again, hear what everybody's thoughts are, and then to develop more of like a conceptual of what it could be.
And
But,
who from this board?
Huh?
Who from this board?
No one.
No one? Okay, well, that's helpful. I mean,
Yeah.
at least that provides some information that I can
But
share with
if
folks.
anyone in the community that wants to be involved in it, just contact Rick Wilhelmi, come to the meetings. There really isn't anything to hide.
Oh, no, and
Yeah.
I don't think anybody's
Yeah.
implying that. They're just anxious to be part and, like I say, bring their energies and what expertise they may have to the process. And I think we need to take advantage of that as a community, because there's a tremendous amount of knowledge and expertise here in our community. We ought to be taking advantage of it. And I said I'm here also representing the Goffstown Junior Baseball Board of Directors, because I had mentioned this to them, and they wanted to be involved as well, because the ability of GJB to use those Villa fields is pretty tenuous.
I agree with you, and I think, Jane Stekowicz used to be on that board, and I think Mike Santoro is the president now, and I
Yes.
know that Kevin Baines used to be very involved. He's now a commissioner. So I know that communication is there. I don't know if Mike went on the walk or anybody representing junior baseball, but I know that they talked with, the commission, I should say, talked with 8 to 10 sports groups and other groups to see what their interest might be. Would they be willing to, invest monies if there were a private-public type partnership? But I think the first step for many of them, including, I'd say, almost all the commissioners, with the exception of Jane, I don't think anybody ever walked that property.
Yeah.
So and I don't even know if all of them did on Saturday. I don't think they did, because according to Rick, there was only about 6 people who went.
Yeah, but it's primarily Parks and Rec Committee that
Driven, yeah.
driven, yeah, okay. And again, GJB is a little concerned, who knows what's going to happen? How solid Religion of Jesus Mary is with that land and that property. I bring it up at our board meetings a lot this year, because they invested a lot of money in those fields this year, and I said, boy, I hope we're not making a mistake by investing a lot of our capital funds only to see the rug pulled out from under us.
Well, I couldn't
2 or
agree with
3 years
you
from
more. And I think from the discussions at the table at Parks and Rec, I hope and pray that Goffstown Junior Baseball is a major player in this project, because they also have the fundraising capacity. Not only that, but the networking amongst private contractors and the manpower, I think, to pull off a lion's share of this project. So, and it's not just them, it's also, whether it be folks on conservation, whether it be softball, football, lacrosse. There's a lot of different groups that we've been talking to that we're hoping to try to partner with, because we know that the town can't develop this property on its own, and we have to get a lot of private help.
Well, that's good. I'll bring that message back to
Yeah.
the GJB board.
But please come. I mean,
Oh,
no,
I'd be happy to.
I don't think. I know Jane communicates with folks on Junior Bay, and so does Kevin, for that matter. But it would be very helpful to have somebody who's willing to participate
Yeah.
from GJB and do that.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah.
So that's next Wednesday?
This Wednesday.
This
Wednesday.
6:30.
Oh, this
This
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Yeah, and I'm sure they're going to talk about it.
Yep. And actually, that's the best area to place to have that discussion, is with the
Yeah.
Parks and Rec Committee.
And we'll do that.
Has the board charged Parks and Rec
Yeah.
to come up with a plan for the land?
Yep, that's great. And like I say, the GJB board asked me to represent them through these proceedings and make sure
Oh,
that
we'll
they're
take you.
engaged, so.
Yeah, they'll take you in a heartbeat.
To be perfectly honest with you, from a long-range planning perspective, that
Yeah.
piece of property is a lot more important to this town for commercial development than it is for Little League fields if we're developing a sports complex. I mean, that's another way to look at it, but. Okay, well, I just wanted to
Right.
bring those
Yep.
concerns to you and let you know there's folks out there who are willing to jump in and help.
We will take any help we can get.
Great, thanks.
Okay, thank you. Okay, is there anybody else who'd like to make a comment? If not, we're going to move on to Selectmen's discussion. Do we have any new business? Do we have any old business? Committee reports, Sewer Commission.
One moment, please.
Sewer Commission did meet last Monday night, same time that this board met, so I was not there, but I'm looking at a summary minutes. Mass Road, for the sewer line that was put in Pinardville this past summer, a decision was made to not put finished pavement over the trenches, but rather finished pavement over the entire width of the road. And that will be done now in the spring 2012. And at the appropriate time before that proceeds, there'll be notification to the public. You may have been aware that there'll be a sewer line replacement on 2 streets here in the village, Reed Street and Temple Court. We don't have the necessary approvals for that construction as yet, and that will push that project to next spring. And there was a meeting with the commissioners, sewer commission, and their attorney concerning the draft intermunicipal agreement with Manchester, who receives our sewage for processing. But no decisions on the acceptance of that agreement has been discussed yet. That's it.
Okay, any questions of David? Seeing none. Planning Board did meet last week, and the site plan for Dunkin' Donuts adding a second window and some changes to the site plan were approved. One of the major changes is that the entrance on Mast Road is going to be changed where we don't have that little divider in there that makes it kind of tough to go in. When you go in from Mast Road, you'll be coming into a small parking area. You won't be able to get to the drive-through from that. So the entrance for the drive-through will be on Patain Street on that. Now, there was also a request for an extension for the veterinary clinic. And that was approved. And it was also a conceptual hearing for a proposal to build 2 apartment buildings, 48 units total. And one of the things that the planning board wanted to do was look into how that tied in with the rest of the project, because it's been a while since the project was approved, and quite frankly, the question came up as to whether or not they ever renewed any of their renewals are current. So those were things that needed to be looked at for that, and that was it with the planning board. And I don't think there was any other meetings. If not,
Budget meeting?
Yeah, we had a budget committee meeting last week. One of the items that we discussed was the another budget committee members. We had a vacancy, and the budget committee was deadlocked at 7-7, so the motion, neither motion carried for the applicant, for either of the applicants that were there. And the budget committee then voted to just simply not fill the position because it wouldn't be fair to bring somebody on late in the process. So that's kind of where we are there. We're going to meet this Saturday at Goffstown High School in the step room, starting I think at 9 o'clock. And that's when the town will present its budget to the budget committee.
any questions for Scott? Okay, if not, we'll move on. What we can do is, we can move ahead to that non-public session now.
Do you want to
Town
do the
administrator's
town administrator's report real quick?
If it's real quick, that's fine.
Your weekly meeting schedule's in your packet. The consensus folder tonight includes AP warrants, employee status reports for a new call firefighter, new hire, and a resignation, event permits for the school Halloween parade on October 28th, the Manchester Marathon November 6th, and a right to inter for the Debrians and heirs at West Lawn, Section 1994, Lot 215. The other addition today that's not in your packets is a surplus retention form, which is requires the chairman's signature in order to set the tax rate.
And that retention form is from where?
DRA.
Okay, thank you. Is there a motion?
Motion to accept the consensus folder.
Second?
Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
It's unanimous.
Thank you. You have two holiday schedules before you. One's the transfer station holiday schedule and the town hall holiday schedule for 2012.
Okay, do we have a motion?
Motion to accept the
Second.
town hall and transfer station 2012 holiday schedule.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
It's unanimous.
Quick question.
Sure.
Just quick. On the transfer station schedule, can they list New Year's Day at the beginning? Is there a reason why they show New Year's Day, January 2013
Monday.
versus 2012?
Don't they get the Monday? They have Monday off anyway.
Yeah, but he's wondering about New Year's Day 2012. Why isn't that one on here?
Right,
That's the
right, wouldn't
Sunday.
2013 be approved in next year's holiday schedule? I think, so you read New Year's Day, President's Day, Memorial Day, all the way down the line.
Yeah.
That is usually the thing.
So you want New Year's Day 2012 listed at the top.
So that'd be an extra holiday.
No, because 2000,
Take out the
this one is
2013.
2013. It's not the 2012
Well,
schedule.
Gotcha.
You just want,
This board may have already approved that
In last
schedule a
year.
year ago.
Right.
Right.
So, if, when this is
add
updated
it
on the
up.
website, just make sure it's all the current dates.
and I think what that is because New Year's Day is so close following that year, that's why it's on.
It's the next day?
Well, I'm just,
Right. Well, we're doing it now in October for 2012, so that usually gives everybody, I'm saying, if this is the 2012 holiday schedule, it should be the
check it.
2012 holidays, not 2013.
there might be a reason why it's like that, so it might,
We'll check. Also, before you is a revised amendment to the agreement with Southern New Hampshire Planning Commission. They need an extension. It was supposed to be done the end of September for the impact fee studies, and just revise the language to extend it to the end of December.
so we need a motion to approve the amendment and authorize the chairman to sign it.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Yes, second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Question. I just want to clarify, this does not include commercial
Right.
impact fees? This is
Right.
just strictly for
This is just the extension.
the extension? Okay,
Right. Okay,
thank you.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
It's unanimous. Okay, so now, it's 25 after 6, 7 o'clock, we're going to the school board,
Yeah.
and, do you want to leave at 7, or you want to leave it a little
Leave a
bit?
little before.
5 minutes before, so why don't we do the non-public?
Motion to enter non-public under RSA 91A3, paragraph 2E, legal.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
It's unanimous, roll call?
Yes.
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 We're in non-public session.